Well, it was a busy week. I was here for the Defend Media Freedom Conference. Of course, you can't have a government conference on defending media freedom. That's like having a vegetarian conference at McDonald's. I know that's a dumb joke, but that's the closest thing I can think of. But I was also here because yesterday at 9:30 in the morning, Tommy Robinson was in court yet again. Well, I've been here probably 10 times now for his various trials. He was sentenced by the court at the Old Bailey by the head of the Queen's Bench Division, no less, Dame Victoria Sharp, to 9 months in prison. 9 months in prison for live streaming his political commentary outside a rape trial 14 months ago. The trial did not impact his comments did not impact the rape trial. It was concluded successfully. All the men were convicted. None of their appeals were upheld. He didn't refer to any confidential matters from the court. He only talked in general terms. But for that, he was sentenced to 9 months in prison. Now, because of time served, as you know, he served 10 weeks in solitary confinement improperly. Because of various formulas and mathematical calculations, because of that time served, the 9-month sentence, 6 months was for the new sentence and 3 months was for the suspended sentence. Tommy Robinson will actually serve 66 days in prison, so almost 2.5 months. He'll be in prison for the rest of the summer and while his kids start school. He's got 3 beautiful young kids. They'll spend the rest of the summer without their dad and they'll start school without their dad. And Tommy Robinson is in prison while 23,000 known jihadis walk the streets of the United Kingdom. Isn't that funny? As I remarked the other day, in the United Kingdom, they spent £1 million prosecuting Tommy Robinson. They spent £1 million on policing for his trial instead of going after the rape gangs. It's quite incredible. Now, that's an injustice in its own right, and I have a lot to say about that, and you know that. But the added layer of hypocrisy that was happening right when the Defend Media Freedom Conference was being held by the British government in concert with Canada, that's just too much to process. And it struck me by the utter silence of everyone in this conference, the utter incuriosity, that no one there was motivated by freedom of speech like me and our chief reporter Sheila Gunn-Reid and Andrew Lawton, our friend from the TNC.news. This was not actually a conference packed with free speech advocates. It was actually a conference packed with, to be honest, grant-seeking journalists who were looking for some sort of a handout or a bailout. As I mentioned a couple of days ago, the conference was actually sponsored by some left-wing media tycoon called Pierre Omidyar. And he selected many of the panels, and many of the reporters here were selected by him too. They're all here to get their grant from him. He's like a mini George Soros. So this was not a free speech conference. I was on a panel, another youth panel, and I was very vigorous for free speech. I said, we have to have the right to offend. We have to have the right to say things that are not popular. And they looked at me like I was a leper. And I was confused by this, and I said to a critic afterwards, surely a free speech conference should have a free speech enthusiast. That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue, and then I interview an interesting guest, and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.